The Supreme Court strikes down most of Trump's tariffs. Trump orders the release of all info on aliens and UFOs. And Team USA picks up more golds. I'm Georgia Howe with Daily Wire Executive Editor John Bickley. It's Friday, February 20th, and this is Evening Wire.
In a major blow to Trump's economic agenda, the Supreme Court has struck down most of the president's tariffs. Daily Wire senior editor Cabot Phillips has more on the seismic decision.
The High Court ruled 6-3 today that Trump's use of tariffs under the Emergency Powers Act went, quote, beyond the president's legitimate reach. Chief Justice Roberts was joined in the majority opinion by the court's 3 liberal justices, along with Trump-appointed justices Comey Barrett and Gorsuch. Conservative justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh dissented. The court ruled that the International Economic Emergency Powers Act, passed by Congress in 1977, makes no mention of tariffs or duties in the, quote, lengthy list of powers given to the president. Quote, that omission is notable in light of the significant but specific powers Congress did go to the trouble of naming, the court stated. Not all of Trump's tariffs were struck down in the ruling, as the president did not invoke the Emergency Powers Act to impose certain tariffs on aluminum and steel. But Trump's reciprocal tariffs on most of the world are affected by the High Court's decision. His 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico over their failure to prevent fentanyl trafficking are also affected. President Trump responded to the ruling in a press conference today.
I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. The court said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1. I can't charge $1, but I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1. It's ridiculous, but it's okay because we have other ways, numerous other ways. The Supreme Court did not overrule tariffs. They merely overruled a particular use of IEEPA tariffs. Therefore, effective immediately, all national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122, over and above our normal tariffs already being charged.
President Trump said Thursday that he's ordering the release of all government records related to alien and extraterrestrial life. The move comes after former President Obama asserted that aliens are real in a recent interview. Trump spoke to reporters about Obama's comments on Thursday.
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people believe it.
Trump later announced the move on Truth Social yesterday, saying, quote, based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and unidentified flying objects, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters.
President Trump is reportedly considering an initial limited strike against Iran to force it into a nuclear deal. According to the Wall Street Journal's sources, the strike would be a first step designed to pressure Tehran into an agreement, but it would fall short of a full-scale attack that could inspire a major retaliation. The strike would only target a few military or government sites, but if Iran still refuses to shut down its nuclear enrichment, the U.S. would respond, quote, with a broad campaign against regime facilities potentially aimed at toppling the Tehran regime.
Idaho authorities say an attempted arsonist targeted a building housing offices for the Department of Homeland Security on Wednesday night. The Meridian police chief described the attack during a Thursday press conference.
The suspect drove the ambulance north through the parking lot and retrieved gas cans that had been staged in nearby vegetation. The suspect then drove the ambulance directly into the North Portico building.
That building, he mentioned, houses leased offices for Homeland Security, and while the suspect did manage to cover the ambulance in, quote, accelerant, he was allegedly scared off before being able to ignite it. The police chief said the suspect is still at large, and he suggested the radical rhetoric against DHS may have played into the attack.
The Biden administration waved in an illegal immigrant and shielded him from deportation before he allegedly attempted to kill a woman by drowning her at a Florida beach. Daily Wire immigration reporter Ginny Tear reports.
Venezuelan illegal immigrant Said Alexander Hernandez Gonzalez allegedly preyed upon the woman who was walking as she talked on the phone with her sister on Tiger Shores Beach in Stuart last Thursday. The Department of Homeland Security told the Daily Wire that the Biden administration paroled him into the United States in 2023 before granting him temporary protected status. That prevented federal authorities from deporting him. Assistant Homeland Security Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said in a statement, quote, Said Alexander Hernandez Gonzalez, a product of the Biden administration's open border policies, brutally attacked a woman on the beach and attempted to drown and kill her. She bravely fought back and survived this wicked attack. ICE has lodged an immigration detainer with the Martin County Sheriff's Office, and because of Florida's cooperation with ICE, this sicko will never walk American streets again.
In other immigration news, an Indian illegal immigrant behind the wheel of a semi-truck allegedly caused a fatal accident on an Indiana road on Wednesday. Sukhdeep Singh allegedly ran a red light before striking 64-year-old Terry Schultz in his pickup truck in Hendricks County. Schultz died at the scene. Federal law enforcement sources told the Daily Wire that Singh crossed the border illegally in 2018 and was released into the county because he was a minor at the time. Singh had a valid work permit at the time of the crash and an Indiana commercial driver's license. He's currently in ICE custody where he'll be held without bond.
Religious freedom is a cornerstone of our nation, and Alliance Defending Freedom is committed to protecting it, including by making sure that Christian organizations are free to live out their faith. But right now, Chicago Public Schools is discriminating against the private Christian college, Moody Bible Institute, because it only hires people who share its biblical beliefs. The school district is blocking Moody's elementary education students from participating in Chicago's student teaching program. In other words, Chicago Public Schools is punishing Moody students for attending a college that practices its faith. Our friends at Alliance Defending Freedom are representing Moody Bible Institute in a lawsuit to challenge this discrimination. But legal battles like this come with real costs. You can stand with Moody by signing a statement of support right now. Visit joinadf.com/wire or text WIRE to 83848 to sign the statement of support for Moody Bible Institute. That's joinadf.com/wire or text WIRE to 83848 to voice your support for religious freedom.
President Trump pulled the U.S. out of the World Health Organization, and he's now setting up an alternate system to compete with it. Daily Wire reporter Tim Pierce has more.
President Trump withdrew the United States from the WHO last year, citing complaints he has had about the United Nations health body dating back to his first term. The Trump administration is now spending billions to set up an alternative. The Department of Health and Human Services is spearheading the effort to set up the new U.S.-led global health body. The new agency will be built on dozens of bilateral agreements between the U.S. and other countries and extend the HHS's international footprint to many more countries. An official told the Washington Post, quote, "This $2 billion in funding to HHS is to build the systems and capacities to do what the WHO did for us." Kennedy's department has already requested the funds from the Office of Management and Budget.
Make America Healthy Again advocates are up in arms over President Trump's decision to protect domestic production of herbicides, saying he's prioritizing the agriculture industry over Americans' health. Daily Wire reporter Zach Jewell has the details.
The president on Thursday signed an executive order invoking the Defense Production Act to protect domestic production of elemental phosphorus and glyphosate-based herbicides. The move is intended to bolster national security by preserving critical supply chains, warning that interruption of supply of either of these items could leave the American industrial base and food supply vulnerable to hostile foreign actors. But some MAHA advocates, like Culture Apothecary host Alex Clark, say the move is in direct contradiction to Trump's campaign promises to make America healthy again. She argued that Trump campaigned on, quote, looking into what's in our water, what's in our air, what's in our soil, acknowledging that pesticide usage was making Americans sick. White House spokesman Kush Desai told the Daily Wire that the order is, quote, not an endorsement of any product or practice, but strengthens our national security and ends America's decades-long reliance on foreign imports and supply chains.
Billionaire Bill Gates appeared to back out of giving a keynote address at an AI summit on Thursday, as fresh questions circle about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Daily Wire senior editor Joel Needler has the details.
Gates was scheduled to address the AI summit in India on behalf of his nonprofit, the Gates Foundation. But the foundation said in a statement, quote, after careful consideration, and to ensure the focus remains on the AI summit's key priorities, Mr. Gates will not be delivering his keynote address. Instead, the foundation's president of its Africa and India offices, Ankor Vora, will represent it. Gates' relationship with the late convicted child sex offender Epstein was revealed after he died at a New York correctional facility in 2019. But the full extent of Gates' relationship with Epstein, which lasted for years after Epstein's conviction, is still unknown. Gates has since called his interactions with Epstein, quote, a mistake.
Actor Eric Dane, best known for his role on Grey's Anatomy, has died at the age of 53, just 1 year after announcing his ALS diagnosis. Daily Wire entertainment reporter Amanda Harding reports.
The star's family confirmed his passing with a statement shared with People. He spent his final days surrounded by dear friends, his devoted wife, and his two beautiful daughters, Billy and Georgia, who were the center of his world, it read. Throughout his journey with ALS, Eric became a passionate advocate for awareness and research, determined to make a difference for others facing the same fight. He will be deeply missed and lovingly remembered always. Eric adored his fans and is forever grateful for the outpouring of love and support he's received.
And Team USA picked up 2 more golds yesterday, one in women's figure skating and another in women's hockey. U.S. skater Alyssa Liu took the top spot in women's singles figure skating, edging out 2 skaters from Japan who took the silver and bronze. And in the most dramatic moment of the day, the U.S. women's hockey team defeated arch-rival Canada in overtime. Canada initially took a 1-0 lead, but the arena erupted when U.S. star Hillary Knight tied the game with just 2 minutes remaining. The teams headed to a 3-on-3 sudden death overtime, but it didn't last long. Just 4 minutes in, Megan Keller danced around Claire Thompson and flipped the puck past the goaltender for the game winner.
The outlet pass for Keller, a defenseman. Nice move, cuts to the net, score! Megan Keller, the overtime hero, United States, wins gold in Milan.
The U.S. has been among the top 3 in total medals for most of the games.
Those are your Drive Home updates this evening. To learn more about these stories, go to dailywire.com. And in case you missed it earlier today, we covered some major stories, including Trump threatening Iran amid a massive U.S. military buildup, former Prince Andrew being arrested, and the search for Nancy Guthrie hinging on DNA evidence. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow morning with a weekend edition of Morning Wire.